What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about what is next for the Charlotte Hornets. So right now, Gordon Hayward last night against the Wizards went out. He re-injured his shoulder. Terry Rozier is just not looking good. The only person that's looking any kind of decent is Kelly Oubre. We got PJ Washington not looking like how he, I wouldn't even say normally looks, but just not looking how you would want him to look after just having such high hopes for him going into the season. The rookies aren't playing. Bryce McGowan and Mark Williams aren't playing. James Bouknight has fallen out of the lineup. Dennis Smith Jr. is not playing in front of Terry Rozier for point guard duties because we all can agree that Dennis Smith Jr. is the better overall point guard for this team right now. I mean, you wouldn't bring Terry Rozier off the bench. You would just put Kelly Oubre there off the bench and have Terry Rozier start shooting guard. But I don't know. And the team can't really hold on to games late. They're struggling late, and LaMelo's out. So I don't really know what to do. So we're just gonna talk about what should be next. And what should be next is obvious, but I really kind of want to talk about what is going on. So like I said, you have the injuries between Gordon Hayward, LaMelo Ball. You have Terry Rozier not looking good. You have PJ Washington not looking good. Kelly Oubre looks good. He's the only one that looks good. Mason Plumlee is being Mason Plumlee. We don't really have a bench at all. Kai Jones is getting some burn, so that's good. He's taking JT Thor minutes. And Jalen McDaniels is okay. Dennis Smith Jr. just came back from injury, but he's not even. I don't even think he's really getting the playing time he was getting before. Granted, there was more injuries before, but still, I think he more than showed that he deserves to be playing. And there was times. Was it last night? I want to say it was the Wizards game where Dennis Smith Jr. should have been in late game and was not. Why? I don't know, but it is what it is at this point. So what should they do next? And honestly, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be as easy as just making some trades and then everything's better. The reason for that is Gordon Hayward, teams know he has been injury prone. Teams know that he is rarely healthy, even healthy enough to play, because we all know players just get injured. Players are very, very rare, 100%. But we know that he's barely healthy to even play. So the fact that you add that to that he's currently injured, it's just not going to be easy for teams to be willing to give up assets to get Gordon Hayward because he's injured right now. At least if you're like, let's just say the Dallas Mavericks, because I know that's a team that people talk about a lot. Let's just say you're the Dallas Mavericks and you trade for Gordon Hayward. Well, at the time, if you trade, like, I don't know, I can't think of who's on the roster off the top of my head, but I know like Davis Bertans who's on expiring, and then maybe somebody else. Davis Bertans for the money, and then somebody else because maybe you want some type of just something back. Well, if you're the Mavericks, you could be like, oh, well, Davis Bertans and whoever barely plays, so this will be a great trade. However, you can at least work Gordon Hayward. You wouldn't have to play him as much, and it's like, oh, okay, if we can maybe lessen his chance of being injured, because now he's on the Mavericks. He's no longer on the Hornets where he has to play all game. He has to be the go-to guy. We have Luka. I mean, Gordon Hayward really just standing there. You know what I mean? But you know, you don't trade for him when he's already had an injury already. So I think it's going to be difficult to be able to unleash Gordon Hayward at least this year. And to be honest, next year, maybe, I mean, at the time, teams would want an expiring deal, fine. But it's like, is he really going to help? Because he might not play. So I don't know. The injury thing is getting a little out of hand, especially with Gordon Hayward. And I don't know what much you can do to alleviate that and to make teams want to trade for him. I really don't, unless he just goes on a streak literally from now until February before the trade deadline of healthy, and we know that's more than likely not going to happen. LaMelo Ball, I'm not really too concerned about LaMelo Ball. If anything, I feel as though his injury is just precautionary. You do not want to waste him getting even more injured on this team that's 4-14. Like, that's why I didn't see why Gordon Hayward is out there. I get it that people are saying, well, what if Gordon Hayward wanted to play? That's fine, but as a front office, as a staff, you could be like, hey, we're not doing it. You know what I mean? We had the same, like, for example, the Spurs were sitting Kawhi Leonard. You have teams sitting, the Thunder were sitting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last 2 years, really. And yeah, they may get upset, but like, for example, Gordon Hayward, you want to get rid of anyway. So does it even really matter that if he gets upset? No, not really. So I don't understand why they're trying to kind of letting him go out there, one, to hurt himself, but in a way that hurts the team as well. So not only do you not want Gordon Hayward to hurt himself, I know he wants to prove that he can stay healthy, but the reality is he just can't. and he knows that. We all know that. But one thing is, like, let's say you want to keep Gordon Hayward. One thing your job is as a staff, as an organization, is to stop players from hurting themselves. And that is, to me, that's what I saw last night. Gordon Hayward wanted to play because he know that we're always like, hey, Gordon Hayward needs to play. He never wants to play. He's very quick to sit out. Well, that was one of the times where he's like, hey, I'm going to show these guys. And he got re-injured. As a staff, you have to kind of prevent him from going back out there, because you know the bigger picture is that Gordon Hayward's not going to be there much longer. You have a better chance of trading him even if no one has seen him play, as opposed to him being injured or already establishing a lingering injury early into the season. And like I said, the team's not good. So what Gordon Hayward is able to provide on a full healthy team, that's good. Yeah, for sure. Like, have Gordon Hayward out there. But there's no need to have him out there in that kind of type of circumstance. Terry Rozier, same way. I feel like Terry Rozier is not 100%. He looks like he could be healthy, but he's not. I can just tell. And I'm not saying that is the reason for his bad play. I'm not giving him that excuse at all. All I'm saying is that I just personally feel as though he's not 100%, and that's not helping the situation. I feel like he was rushed back as well. They're trying to salvage the season, but there's nothing to salvage, and that's something they have to understand. And the whole point of me making this video is just by saying that you are putting these guys at risk. Like, one, they're not playing well, so the team's bad. Two, everyone's getting injured. So it's just like you're putting yourself into trying to salvage the season where the team's already 4-14. The star players out. The East is much stronger. Like, for example, who's down there with us? The Miami Heat, and there's another good team that's the Bulls maybe, are underneath the play-in spot. Do you really think they're going to stay there forever? So not only does every team above in the playoff spot have a legit shot at being in the play-in, but then you have the Miami Heat, and then you have the I just mentioned them and I already forgot. The Chicago Bulls, who I don't think they're going to necessarily make it the way they're looking right now, but they have a better chance than we do. So do you really think that trying to force everybody back is going to be good enough when we thought full healthy team, everybody completely healthy, we weren't going to make it, or it was going to be rough to even make the play-in? So now you're telling me with significant injuries to LaMelo Ball, significant injuries to our best perimeter defender, significant injuries to our best off-ball, player in Terry Rozier, significant injury to our, guy, our go-to guy. And basically, I'm not afraid to admit it. It's the truth sometimes that Gordon Hayward really can be that go-to guy. Significant injuries to all those guys, and you still want to try to force them to try to make the playoffs. It doesn't make any sense. So therefore, you're hurting your future, you're hurting your present, you're hurting everything right now by forcing these guys, or letting these guys rather, because I know people say the team doesn't force them, the players want to play too, but by letting these guys continue to not only just stop you from being bad, because that's kind of what you want to be in this situation, but they're hurting themselves. So then you can't trade them, and then you're stuck with these guys, and then it's just going to be a continuous cycle. And that's more so what I'm talking about, is that this team is just so stuck on the now, they're not looking at the future. And that's just really what upsets me, because you got all these young pieces, and it's just like, this is the perfect time to develop them. Let James Bouknight put up 33 shots the same way Terry Rozier did, It's just like, I know that James Bouknight looks like he's unable to play basketball, but it's just not going to help him continuously sitting on the bench. He hasn't done himself any favors. I'm not even really advocating for it. All I am saying is that you're just stopping so much for the short term, because we know a real team, the real Charlotte Hornets are going to make the playoffs consistently. Because that's really what I asked for. Right now, all I really want is for them to make the playoffs back-to-back. It's just back-to-back years. I want them to just make the playoffs. But if you can make it back-to-back, I'll be happy with, I guess, how this rebuild has gone. But my thing is that I don't see anybody on this roster, not named LaMelo or France Ball, that is going to be there on this fake roster I've made in my head of a Charlotte Hornets team that makes the playoffs back-to-back years. None of these guys are going to be on there. Kelly Oubre's not going to be on there. I don't see Terry Rozier being back there. And not because Terry Rozier's not good, but he's just not a good fit with LaMelo. He can't defend, and LaMelo is still very young and still more of a gambler on defense rather. So it doesn't help that Terry Rozier can't defend either. And so then you got, I don't see PJ Washington necessarily being on there. I would like PJ Washington to be on there, but for what he's asking for where he seems to be, it's not aligning. So I don't see PJ being on there. Nick Richards, maybe. Mark Williams, maybe. But Mason Plumlee, Gordon Hayward, I don't know if I already mentioned Kelly Oubre. James Bouknight might not even be on there. There's a lot of guys. The main guys you're trying to force into the lineup, more than likely are not going to be there on the real team whenever we get there. And Gordon Hayward's only getting older. Terry Rozier's only getting older. Kelly Oubre, I mean, he's not really getting older, but he's going to eventually probably be well more fit on a better team. So it's just not making any sense to continue to force these guys into playing or letting them go out there and play when to be honest, you can help them in both ways. Let's say you're not even trying to tank. It would still just behoove you to let these guys rest. You're in no rush. I'm sorry, but you're not. You know the writing on the wall. So why not let these guys get completely healthy? I don't know. But I just feel like the staff, organization, everybody's just incompetent right now. And you like one thing, you got to stop the players from hurting themselves. And let's say you want to make the playoffs for whatever reason. This isn't the way to do it either. That's kind of just my biggest issue. I wish I could have said that. This video could have been a lot shorter. But my biggest issue is even if you want to win right now, you're still not doing it the right way. The best way would be to suck and just let everyone get healthy, because you're sucking in terms of you're just not being good in terms of letting everyone get healthy, let everyone get their breath, let everyone get their legs beneath them, and then you play your hearts out. But right now, you throwing guys in the lineup every other day. Some guys are healthy, some guys are not, and you're just picking and choosing and throwing them, and then it's just not going to help. And then you're not really willing to change the lineups up. You're really not being able to handle late games well. It's just none of that is working. So if this is your plan to win, then it's still not working. That's why I'd rather you just tank, because you don't know how to win. You're showing me right now you don't know how to win. And you can say with injuries, but you're not handling the injuries well. That's, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, injuries are preventing this team from being good, but the team's not handling injuries well. So if you can handle injuries well, then how can I trust you to just hold the team together and handle the team well in order to be good enough to, you know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's my little rant. It's just that this team is just frustrating because they're just so stuck in the middle. I really feel like they're stuck in the middle, and it's their fault. They choose to be this way. So anyway, that does it. I tried to refrain from doing videos like this just because I was doing them a lot during the off season, because granted that was all there was to talk about, but I don't want to do just game recaps and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring this up. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like I said, I get injuries have plagued us from the beginning of the season. However, the team is just, look at the Cody Martin injury. The team is just not handling injuries correctly. That just gives me no hope that they can piece together this team to be good. So then why not just tank in a loaded draft class? If you don't get the first pick, you don't get the second pick. You still have so many guys who are so talented. But anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you want to talk about next time, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.